Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today as we introduce our new head football coach here at Wilkes University. At this time, I'd like to introduce Wilkes University President, Dr. Patrick Leahy.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I ran up here to try to get here on time, and I spent a minute outside collecting my breath because I didn't want our new coach to think that the president was that out of shape. So thank you for bearing with me. I'm also delighted to have you all here. In particular, I'm thrilled to see all the student athletes that are here. Thank you for coming. You should know, Coach, that I have some of your players in my class, and I asked them yesterday if they were going to be here today. They said they wouldn't miss it for the world, save for the fact that they had class, and they didn't want to cut class. So that's the kind of student athlete that you have here at Wilkes. So thank you all for being here. We at Wilkes are on a mission, and that mission is to be one of the great small universities, not only around here, but around anywhere. And the idea there about being a small university is to create all of the programs and the opportunities and the activities that you'd find in a much larger research university, but to offer it in the caring, mentoring, supportive environment typically found at a small liberal arts college. And we think that that combination is really, really unique. In fact, we like to think of it as really special. So what we've done is try to add the programs that students really want in order to build this small university. Just this year, we've added new academic programs in sport and event management and in public administration. We've added new athletic programs in men's and women's swimming and in women's golf. And even new music programs in, that's right, you guessed it, marching band. In fact, we're proud that we're going to be the only college or university in northeastern PA and one of only a few Division III programs across the entire state to sponsor a marching band for our football games and elsewhere. Okay? So we're really thrilled about the possibilities that we're creating here. But you can't be, in my opinion, a great university unless you have a great football team. Okay? And we've worked very hard over the last couple years since I've been here to improve our athletics programs, and in particular football. We finished the expansion of our Munson Fieldhouse for all of our student athletes. We've expanded our roster size. And today, we usher in a new era in Wilkes football with the naming of our new head coach. You would all agree, I think, that recruiting, it all begins with recruiting. Right? The success of athletic programs all begins with recruiting. And I think this administration did its job in recruiting our next head coach. As you'll hear in a minute, our next head coach has coached at some of the finest universities in the nation. Okay? He understands to his core the idea of student athlete. I think he understands the way in which a competitive, successful football program on and off the field can help to burnish the reputation of an entire university. And I think that we have in our new coach someone who appreciates and understands the unique culture, the family culture that is the hallmark of a Wilkes education. So I am delighted with the outcome of this search. In fact, I want to take a quick minute to thank all of the members of the search committee who worked extremely hard over the last number of weeks to make this outcome possible. In particular, I'd like to recognize our Director of Athletics, Addie Malatesta, and our Vice President for Student Affairs, Paul Adams, not only for their commitment to this particular search, but for their commitment to Wilkes athletics in general and to Wilkes football in particular. So I'm delighted to have all of you here. I want to thank you for making the time to be here, and I want to turn it over, I believe, to my colleague, Paul Adams, the Vice President of Student Affairs, for the formal introduction of our new coach. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're certainly gratified, as Pat said, for the turnout this morning, and how appropriate that we're here this morning in this Hall of Fame room, this hallowed room on campus where we honor the very best in Wilkes athletic tradition. When I have the privilege of speaking at special events on campus, there's a quote that I very much like to use, and it seems so apropos today. It fits so many different occasions, but it comes from, the great Mississippi writer Eudora Welty, and she says that as we remember, we discover, and when we discover, we remember, and most intensely do we do this when our separate journeys converge. Well, this morning, we come together in this room that honors great Wilkes tradition, at the same time that we recognize and introduce to you the future of Wilkes football. And we're very delighted to welcome Trey to Wilkes and to the futures that he's going to provide the young men with his fellow coaches on this campus. We've talked about, since Dr. Leahy arrived, that we look back with pride and we look forward in confidence. Well, several weeks ago, I had the privilege of meeting with the football team and the coaches to share with them what our process was going to be as we searched for this new head coach. And when I met with them, I explained to them that Wilkes has been playing football since 1946. So we've entertained 68 seasons since then. And in that time, we've only had 7 head coaches, and we chose the last one 17 years ago. So this is a process that we do very seldom. So as we undertook this process, we wanted to be sure that we had the very best search and process that we could have. And as Pat pointed out, we put it in the very capable hands of our superb athletic director, Addie Malatesta. I wanted to be sure this morning to recognize that that search committee that did such exemplary work. It included 2 student athletes, Omar Richardson, I saw Omar here, and Nick Dawson. It also included Ted Yeager, member of our Alumni Executive Board, a member of our Wilkes Athletics Hall of Fame, Alex Speraza from our enrollment staff, Blake Mackesy from University College, head coaches Frank Matthews and Jerry Rickrode, and Phil Rutkowski, our Associate Dean of Student Affairs. They put an extraordinary amount of time into the process, and we couldn't be more pleased with the outcome that they came up with. It's also important to recognize 2 other special guests that we have here today. I wanted to welcome Ken Andrews, who's our Executive Director of the Middle Atlantic Conference. He's made a special trip up here for this announcement, and we're delighted to have you with us here today, Ken. And we also want to welcome Trey's wife, Leah. We know what a tremendous commitment families make to the coaching lifestyle. And so for all that you are going to do for us, we're delighted, and we're delighted you could be here for this very special announcement. So thank you very much. Well, today, Wilkes Athletics Department is privileged to announce that Trey Brown, the quarterback's coach and special teams coordinator at Muhlenberg College in Allentown, is joining the university as our next head football coach. Trey was selected following a national search for the Colonel's next head coach. He brings with him a record of coaching young athletes and teams to success and a true understanding of the role of the student athlete, placing importance on success both as an athletic competitor and as a scholar. During his coaching career at Muhlenberg, Trey was instrumental in helping the Mules program to 1 Centennial Conference championship, 1 NCAA Division III national playoff berth, and 2 ECAC South Atlantic bids. He coached the 2013 Centennial Conference Freshman of the Year and Muhlenberg quarterback Nick Palladino, as well as mentoring the 3rd most prolific passer in career yardage in conference history in Dan Deegan. Prior to joining Muhlenberg, Trey was offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for 4 years at Lehigh University. He also coached tight ends and wide receivers during 5 years on the coaching staff at the University of Pennsylvania. and he was an assistant coach at Stanford University for 3 years early in his career. In all of his coaching positions, Trey has helped to coach teams to league championships and coach student athletes in setting school records and earning conference honors. Trey's a native of Longmont, Colorado. He earned his bachelor's degree in marketing from the University of Colorado and his master's degree from St. Mary's College in California. At this time, I'm delighted to introduce to you Trey Brown as our next head football coach at Wilkes University. Trey?
Appreciate it. Thank you. Well, let me start off by saying I am very excited to be here. I'm very honored to be here. I want to start out by thanking President Pat Leahy, Vice President of Student Affairs Paul Adams, Athletic Director Addie Malatesta, Sports Information Director Vince Scalzo, the Search Committee, fellow Wilkes coaches, and last but not least, the Wilkes football players. During this process, I could not have been more impressed with the way that it was handled, and my communication with Addie through the whole process made me feel that much more at ease. When I came on campus, I had a chance to visit with Paul over lunch and briefly meet Dr. Leahy, and it made me feel like it was even more of a special place. And when you're interviewing for a job, if you can get a good feel about the place, it makes you feel a little bit more secure about what you're getting ready to do. I then had a chance to step into a gymnasium and meet with some of the kids on the team. And it got me really, really excited about possibly being a part of something special here. So I want to thank all those people to start out. I also want to thank Muhlenberg College and all the great coaches and players that I was fortunate enough to work with. In particular, Mike Donnelly, the head football coach. Also, Corey Goff, the AD, was a great role model of mine as well. And I'm proud to say that one of the other coaches, Jordan Purdy, our running back coach, and a Wilkes alum, is up here today as well in my support. So I'm glad that Jordan's here. I feel fortunate that I was at a great place with great student athletes, great support staff, and I learned so much from the coaches that I was around during my time there. So I do appreciate my time at Muhlenberg. I think as you go through life, anytime you leave a place or you leave a situation, if there's a feeling that there's parts of the place that you'll miss, then that means it was worth it while you were there. And that's how I feel about Muhlenberg. My wife's been introduced, Leah. She's the driving force behind all the good things that happen in our household. She supported me in everything I've done. She's the best. We have a daughter, Keelan, and a son, Mason, that I want to bring up as well. They're at school, all these school days. We just couldn't pull them out today, or these snow days. They love football. Keelan loves the snack bar, and Mason loves the games. But they'll be at all the football games. This is an exciting day for me. I drove up, obviously, with my wife about an hour ago, and there was a little bit of chatter in the car, a little bit of, hey, what are you going to say? And I just felt very, very comfortable coming here and addressing this whole group and letting them know how excited I am. I've always aspired to someday have an opportunity to be a head football coach. But I realize that dreams don't always match reality in my business. It just doesn't work out that way. There are a lot of great football coaches out there at all levels, from high school all the way to the top, that may not get a shot at being a head football coach. And I feel really honored and excited to have that opportunity today. This is a great opportunity for me to take 16 years of experience working with great people at great institutions and put them into play. I started out at Stanford University, and I worked for a man by the name of Tyrone Willingham. And I learned a lot from Coach Willingham, and I learned a lot from the rest of the staff. But the biggest thing I learned from him was consistency. Consistency in how you approach your student athletes, consistency in how you approach your staff, consistency in how you approach your alums. We could win a game by 50 or lose a game by 60 at Stanford, and Tyrone was the exact same guy every day. And I grew from that and learned from that. When I was at Penn, working for Al Bagnoli, I learned the importance of being able to delegate jobs, to hand out jobs, to empower people on your staff, to allow them to do their job. Coach Bagnoli is the all-time winningest coach in Penn history, and he empowered you to do what he asked, but then he let you go and do it. And I learned a lot about delegating from Coach Bagnoli. At Lehigh, working for Andy Cohen, I was with Coach Cohen at Penn. We were then at Lehigh. I learned the importance of having relationships on campus, the importance of having relationships with people that you need to help get the job done for you. It was a valuable, valuable lesson for me. And then at my last stop at Muhlenberg with Coach Donnelly, I learned about performance accountability. It's about demanding certain things from your players and letting them know if they're not achieved, something has to change. It's about being honest, being trustworthy. Coach Donnelly was one of the best I've ever been around with letting a kid know if he needs to work a little bit harder, he's going to let him hear it. So I think at all my stops during the 16 years, there's been great assistant coaches I've worked with and great head coaches that I learned a lot from. Who am I? I'm a very passionate person. I love this game. I love this game. I love being around young people. I love having a little part of their lives, a 4-year part of their lives, to maybe make a difference, to maybe make a change. But I love football. I'm very trustworthy. I think as I get to know a lot of the people here in the room and I get to know the team, if there's one thing that I hope you can say about me when we're around each other and we get to know each other is that you trust me, that you trust me. Because when you have trust, you got a shot. You have a shot. I'm a very trustworthy person. I'm incredibly honest. I may not tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear because that's important to me. So I'm going to be very honest along the whole step of this process. And I'm very, very energetic. I like to have fun. I like to work hard, but I like to enjoy what we're doing. And I'm certain I'm the right man for this job. This will not be accomplished all by Trey Brown. There's no way. The help and the success of any organization must be a collaborative effort. It is important for everyone to have a hand in the success of where Wilkes football wants to go in this new era. I will need help from everybody on this campus, and I will need to extend a hand to you every time I see you, and hopefully you extend a hand back to me as we get to know each other. But I do need your help along the way as we try to usher in this new era here. I will run this program with an open door policy. We will have open communication. I think every coach needs a player. I think every player needs a coach. It does me no good, and my coaches no good, to have our door shut and not listen to the young men in this room. I want to have open flow. I want them to be able to approach us. I want to be able to welcome a new idea they may have. I want to talk about things, and I want it to all be based on being trustworthy and being honest with each other. You will see me on campus. I'm a very engaging guy. You will see me around the athletic facilities. I'm a very engaging guy. I want to get to know these guys and have an open door policy with them. I can't wait to get to know all these football players. I just can't. I was sitting at my desk last night at home, and I was just thinking about how excited I am to start forming some relationships with some 18 to 22-year-olds that I'd never met before, but would have a chance to mold with the help of the other coaches and the people on staff into a fine football team. I'm hoping to meet with them on Thursday at 11 o'clock, and we're going to talk about some key things. We're going to talk about trust. When I met with them during my interview, I told them in that gymnasium, if I were hired, just because I am hired does not mean that they are going to trust me immediately. Trust is established over time. Trust is established by getting to know someone. So we're going to talk about trust. We're going to talk about honesty, being honest with themselves, being honest with the other players on the team, being honest with their commitment level, being honest with their academics. Talk about accountability. Key word with me, accountability. Do your job. Do your job. We're going to discuss that. And work ethic. One of those things that we can all get up each morning and decide which way we want to go. You want to work hard, or you want to just kind of skate by for the day? So we're going to talk about work ethic. It's my job to prepare them. It's their job to perform. The staff will recruit like maniacs. We will be out there. We will be around. It is the lifeblood of our program. We will network with high school coaches, with college coaches. We will be organized as we network with these coaches. We will be trying to find the best players and the best student athletes that fit Wilkes University. And then we will evaluate. So we will go out and network, be organized as we go about it, and then we will evaluate to try to get the best players possible into the Wilkes program. It's no secret I'm a heck of a lot better coach with better players. That's just the way this whole thing works. What kind of player will we look for? I want tough guys. I think the foundation of football is based on toughness. Toughness in the weight room, toughness on the practice field, toughness on Saturday. I also want competitors. I want guys that can compete, can go out, can understand the grind of the work week, will pay off on Saturday, and want to compete every day for a spot to be able to fulfill a lot of their accomplishments and dreams that they hope to achieve on Saturday. And I want playmakers. I want playmakers. I need a guy that can step up and do something special at a unique time when it's called for. That's a special type of football player. I want to embrace the alumni. The support and involvement is critical to our success. I want the alumni around our football team. I want them to feel a sense of pride as they strengthen our football family. And family is a key word for me, because to me it is a football family, the guys sitting in this room and the alums that came before them. The foundation and beliefs of this football team on the football field: we will be physical. We will be a physical outfit. We will be explosive. We will be unpredictable. And we will have a lot of fun. In closing, I am so honored to be a part of the Wilkes University family. This opportunity means so much to me. I look forward to getting to know all of you. Thank you.